Welcome to the Liberal Europe podcast. I'm your host, Ricardo Silvestre, and thank you so much for listening to today's special episode. As our constant listeners know, we have a yearly focus on the magnificent Freedom Games that happens in Łódź, organized by our friends from Liberté Foundation. And it's always a great pleasure to chat with Leszek about what is the theme of the event and what special guests are going to be on it. And actually, that's going to be our next podcast. We're going to promote Freedom Games 2025. But last year, we had an added promotion, and that was we're going to have a Freedom Games panel sponsored by our podcast and with a surprise feature, a political fun game. Well, as promoted then, this is a highlight of that panel where we had as one of our guests the brilliant Aleksandra Kot. She's an MP from Nowoczesna from Krakow. And you're going to hear our conversation about the topic of the panel, which was how to make liberalism sexy again. And after that main conversation, please stay to then hear the political fun game where Leszek and I ask some questions to members of the audience that volunteered to participate about the European Union and about Freedom Games. But now, with no further ado, I bring you Aleksandra Kot, the panel sponsored by the European Liberal Forum, Liberal Europe podcast on Freedom Games 2024, and myself and Leszek with that political fun game. I hope you enjoy it. It's my pleasure to bring you the panel. We are very happy to be joined by Aleksandra Kot. She was, as Leszek mentioned, elected to the parliament. Krakow 2. Congratulations. And you're a member of Nowoczesna and president of Nowoczesna Youth. So let's start. And let's start with some concepts. Is liberalism sexy again? Was it ever sexy? And if it's not, how can we make it more appealing? I'll tell you my opinion really quickly. I think that, yes, we need to repackage things a little bit, and we need to have people, again, like Sven was saying, and very correctly so in my opinion, look at us with fresh eyes. But my guests are the ones that are going to go into it, and I'll start with you, Aleksandra. So please tell us a little bit about this, and what is your concept of sexy liberalism, more appealing liberalism?
Yes, sure. Thank you. So I think the word sexy would suggest something brand new and this shiny box that we should put liberalism in. And I think we should definitely find a way to make liberalism more appealing or maybe more suitable for times we live in. But I think those values like freedom and economical and personal freedom or creating equal opportunities, those are timeless values. But I do think that in times we live in where we can observe rise of popularity of populist and extremist parties, we do have to find a way to gather people around liberalism, because those parties, the far-right parties, the populist parties, they very easily create this idea of future, and they benefit from those fears that a lot of people have because of the world we live in. And I think they just gather people around this false sense of security and false sense of protection that they promise. So I think liberalism has to find a way to connect to people more and to gather people around the key objective of just providing a decent future for everyone, where the rule of law is obeyed and where we have equal opportunities. So I guess it's not really about putting liberalism into a new shiny box, but just finding a way to convince people that what the box contains, which is liberalism, is going to provide them with a good future.
That's a tremendous point, and Sven went to it, and I will went to it also, because I am a reader of the classics. So again, Sven was saying, well, we keep going back to John Stuart Mill or Locke. In your opinion, and someone that is fresh to this game, do we need to repackage also that thinking, that teaching, and not go to the well over and over and over like Sven was saying? What is your take on that?
So I think we have to find some kind of balance between that. So I guess those fundamentals of liberalism, they don't need to be reinvented again, but I think it's about communicating them maybe better. I think liberals are not the best in maybe connecting to people and maybe answering their questions about the future. And I think it's about maybe, I think my colleagues will probably expand that, expand on that, but I think it's important to find a way to, I guess if you're trying to communicate anything to a potential voters or potential person, you should answer the question, why should it be important for that person? And I think we sometimes struggle with it. We struggle to find that personal connection with voters, and I think liberals tend to talk about maybe abstract ideas without providing some tangible proof. Why should economical and personal freedom matter to me?
Aleksandra, you were mentioning on a first go around about the strength of developing emotional connections with your voters and actually with success, because you have success to show. So also please tell us a little bit about that. How does it happen? How can you make it happen?
So I think it's about making those personal stories and maybe giving examples of why personal freedom should matter. But I also think it's about creating a community of people. So I think in a way to make liberalism sexy, it's also important to make it, I guess, accessible and I want to say inclusive. And what I mean by that is that it's important to invite people to the table who may not align 100% with our views. So, for example, I'm invited to similar events, maybe just smaller ones, and usually there's going to be a comment or two how I'm not liberal enough to be there. And I think if we have that attitude that only certain people are worthy to be invited to that table, then we're not really doing liberalism any favor, because we're only, we do gatekeeping, to put it in a way that I guess young people say, with liberalism. And I think it's not a good thing to do if we want to make it a popular ideology. But also I think it's important to I understand that the political landscape in Poland might be disappointing to many people, but I think it's really important to also work with organizations and youth organizations and just foundations who support liberalism and who want to educate people about it. Because my goal as also a president of a youth branch of a party is to allow members of our organization to grow on their own, because those are young people with liberal values and they're going to want to be elected to their local government, local parliaments, or maybe to the parliament. And I think it's really important for them to have those skills, how to run in elections. And I think so I took part in workshops and events that had the European Liberal Forum logo on them. And I think it's really helped me to grow as a person, as a politician. And I think it's also important to focus on that, on growing communities, liberal communities, because political parties often come from or they are built around people who knew each other from youth organizations or from other projects like that. So I think that is important. And also, like I've mentioned before, when campaigning, just trying to make that personal connection and explaining to the person why should it matter, and how does my everyday life will change if we have a populist party in government.
I was going to save this for last with Aleksandra, but since you mentioned with the European Liberal Forum, she just won the prize of the Rising Star of Liberals from European Liberal Forum. So just for that, please, a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Very
She's
nice of you to mention that.
So now it's your turn. Any question? Just make it snappy, please.
Aleksandr Śniegocki from Reform Institute. I have a question. Maybe it's a bit more difficult because not only about liberalism, but about liberal institutions. So how to make them sexy? Because what we see in Poland, at least this is what I feel, is that even if you throw out illiberal politicians, the impact on how the institution function it actually stays with them. And I'm not exactly sure that I would call how today the new government runs how it works. I would call this the key or the golden standard of liberalism. And maybe I would also like you to define what you actually understand by liberalism or liberal institutions, because by the end of the day, that also allows you to kind of sell the sexiness. Because maybe if we look at some good examples of liberalism which became sexy over the last few years, I would say that maybe Yes in My Backyard movement was kind of sexy. And if you think about it, why? is because it was disruptive, but in a liberal way. So you have competition, you have rules, so you say the rules don't work, they are open, they should be open, and it's liberal, it's disruptive, it opens a way forward, but this is an example of liberal institutions, liberal narrative, which can be sexy. So the question for you would be, what would you call the key thing for liberal institutions and how you can make liberal institutions sexy?
Can you specify what you mean by institution?
Yeah, overall, so basically how we have decision-making, how the decision-making is happening so that we don't have prime minister just going out and saying, oh, it's going to be this way or that way, or how the property rights are protected, that you have rules which are open to competitions, which are rule-based. So maybe you have other definition. Would be interesting to hear what you actually mean when you say liberalism in your day-to-day life, in day-to-day policies. Thank you.
Very good. The question about institutions is really interesting, and we can continue this after the panel. Because in Portugal, give you that example, in Portugal we have a pretty much liberal society and liberal economy. We had the socialists on power for 8 years, and they are mostly a liberal party. Why? Because the European Union is behind, saying, okay, if you want all this money, you have to actually start liberal policies in the market. And actually that happens with Hungary with the rule of law. So yes, institutions can push that in a way that could be a little less obvious. Oh, this is not like a liberal value, but well, you should do this because this is good for everyone. But please give us your take.
Yeah, so I think, like I've mentioned before, I understand that the current government or the political landscape might not be as maybe progressive to certain voters, and the expectations were very high, and I understand that they were not always met. I do think that we've made, so to me, liberalism is about economic freedom and a personal freedom, and creating equal opportunities for everyone, like I think I've mentioned before. And I do think we've managed to make some progress in that area. But also, I think for me, it's the restoring rule of law is also very important, because I think it has a great influence on the economic growth. So if you want to run a business, you do have to be sure that the law you are basing your business on is not going to be, changed in a second, and you can trust that the ruling of the court is going to be, certain and not going to be changed, or no one's going to say that it's not accurate anymore because the judge who took part in this ruling process, it shouldn't be a judge and stuff like that. So I do think we've also made progress in that area. Like I've said, I understand it may not be as fast as people expected. But the government is made up of many parties and many ideas, and we do have to find a balance there. So yeah, I think in a way we've made a really great progress, especially in the restoring of rule of law.
Very good. I'm going to go into parting shots. We have around 5 minutes, so I'm going to give 30 seconds to each one.
Oh, sorry. My, main message would be that it's important to support every liberal organization and youth organization, because those youth organizations are usually made up of future liberal politicians.
Perfect. Or I'm going to end the panel by saying that we're in good hands making liberalism sexy with thinkers like this. So thank you so much, Aleksandra.
We're going to have some political questionnaires. How much do you know about European Union? What a fascinating subject.
And how much do you know about Łódź and freedom games? But
much better. But for that, we're going to need a volunteer. All right, we have a volunteer.
Come on in.
Come in. All right, dear volunteer, what is your name?
Andrew.
All right. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a lawyer.
I don't think I say if people love you, but how much do you know about the European Union?
I think quite enough.
Wow, that's why we have this volunteer. All right, Ricardo, take it away.
Very good. So to win 2 prizes, because we're very generous, and we have a book, and we were talking about the classics, The Liberal Canon, which is a European Liberal Forum production, and Renewing Europe, because Europe, it is a liberal project. So the European Union has a motto. It reads, united in diversity, united in democracy, United for Bartosz Kurek,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
and United for a cool flag and awesome anthem. So my question to you is, from these 4 ones,
Look, Ricardo was there. He was in the Olympics.
Try
with
not-
Polish team.
try not to get try to read too much on the background image here. But which one is correct? And if you can ask for a lifeline from the audience.
I mean, the photo strongly suggests the right answer, so I'm gonna choose A. United in Diversity.
And United in Diversity it is.
Bravo.
So a round of applause for him. Very good. He knows this stuff. So, the European Union has won a Nobel Prize. Can you tell us if it was for patience in dealing with Jaroslaw Kaczynski,
Still haven't achieved that, so no prize for that.
exasperation in dealing with Viktor Orban, and we have Hungarian friends in the audience, solidarity with Ukraine, or contribution towards peace and reconciliation? Before you answer,
That's a hard one.
then again, if the audience wants to jump in, what do you think it's the correct one?
I think this is the last one.
It is
towards-
contribution towards peace and reconciliation. Very good.
Bravo.
Well done. Okay, the last one. What is the geographical center of the European Union? This is after the United Kingdom left, unfortunately. Let's hope our friends from across the channel come in quick. And naturally, before the expansion, something that the European Liberal Forum, and I see the executive director right there, something that we work about a lot, about expansion and continuing the European Union project. So, our question to you is, it's a bank of a river in Frankfurt, in Hanau. Is it a water fountain in the middle of Erlang in Nuremberg? It is a field outside Gannheim near Würzburg, or it is whatever Ursula von der Leyen is.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna-
the geopolitical center of Europe, but you were asking about geographical, right?
Well, yes, let's try to be nice to the president of the European Commission. So, again, give us your best shot. What do you think is
If
the correct
I'm allowed,
answer?
I'd like to use my lifeline right now and ask
Yes.
the audience.
All right, please raise your hand. Which one thinks is the first one? The bank of a river? No one.
I think they don't know.
A water fountain in the middle of Erlange? No one. Whatever Ursula von der Leyen is? No one believes in. Oh, no, there's a hand right there.
Okay.
That's a political answer right there. And of course, you know it already, but please say it. It's a field outside Gannheim.
And that's the one.
Würzburg. So
Okay.
this was an amazing performance for him. So I'm going to ask, please, to give a round of applause and a couple of
Andrzej.
gifts from the European Liberal Forum. Thank you so much. Now I have 2 microphones, so it's
Yeah.
always stereo. All right, so with that, let's go to the second game. And the second game, we're going to need another volunteer. And this is about Łódź and the magnificent Freedom Games. I've been very, very privileged to be here for my 4th year right now. It's amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Leszek. But we need a volunteer. So please, someone step up. Someone that knows about Łódź.
And Freedom Games,
Come on,
which
here
are
we go.
so tied together.
There's
Yeah?
one. There you go. Come on
Come.
down, contestant. Contester? Is that Polish? Maybe? No. All right, come here.
We have a mic.
Join me.
Yeah.
So actually, we're going to start by a spin. What is your pin about?
It's the University.
Talk to my
Sorry, University of Łódź. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So someone that knows about Łódź. So you won already. For you, we have this Cards Against Liberals,
Actually,
which is
I already have one.
you
but
already have one more.
Oh no.
if
Okay.
someone wants to get one,
We'll find something.
I'll get you a great book published by Liberté, perhaps.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Your motivation is already. So tell us your name.
Adrian.
Adrian. Okay, what do you do apart from studying? Are you a political activist?
Yes, some kind of. I'm the treasurer of Nowoczesna Youth.
So I'm going to throw you to Leszek, and Leszek, please take it away.
Right, so this is tricky for everyone. How many rivers are in Łódź?
19.
An epidemic of beavers build dams that move the rivers.
So this is actually a question of mine because I've been in Łódź many times, and I see that the logo, it's a boat.
Yeah,
So
and we have some
we're
problems
gonna
with
try to
beavers.
get there.
There are 10 rivers. There are 7 rivers. There are no rivers. Wow, visible rivers.
So someone is already saying, yeah.
Someone is saying, yeah. Yeah. But
So the right
let's
answer?
see.
I
What's
mean-
the right answer?
There is no right answer because there are 19 of them. But the closest answer is 10, so I'm gonna say 10.
Well, historically there were 7.
7 rivers.
No, I know. Well.
Yeah.
So it is contested answer, but yeah, I mean, historically, well, 7 rivers, but obviously we can count them and more rivers. But anyway, I think we can accept 19.
You're going to win anyway.
Now there is one which is less contested. When was the first edition of Freedom Games? Was it 2025?
That's it.
Well,
Yeah,
it is.
definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Or was
sorry.
it? Yeah. You can see the borders of ours moving out. Well,
You
yes.
can actually see that on the map.
You can see the Łódź as well, of course, and issue 1. It was 1980. Or was it 2014 or 2016? That's a difficult one.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
Maybe
dun.
people know. Maybe you can help.
Okay,
Which
I
one?
have 14, right? Okay. Yeah, so
So?
I'm gonna say 14.
Yes, it was 2014. This 11th edition of Freedom Games. Look how we changed. Very few people then. All right. And the last one. How many people on average on 3 days visit Freedom Games? Only Wojciechowski shows up. It was Ricardo's idea, right? Okay. 1 million, right? Maybe
be nice.
5,000
Seems about right.
or 2,500. Wow, okay, that's me looking great.
Indeed.
I mean, I would really like for it to be 1 million.
Right.
But I believe that it's more like 5,000. Or maybe 2. Okay.
Maybe you can help him. What do you think? I mean, okay, it's a tricky
2.5,
one because
really?
because it's really like it was different every year, but let's say recently. Which one do you think is right?
Yes. Okay.
It
so,
is your call. It is your call.
Yeah, 2,500.
And that's the right answer because the 5,000 is our goal for the next year. No, actually, it's 10,000. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you. So this we're going to give to whoever needs it. And you can choose one book from the Liberté Foundation shop upstairs. Is it right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
All right, so a round of applause for him.
Yeah, Adrian. Thank you.
This is all for now. I'll be back soon with more podcasts. You can always visit the website liberalforum.eu to know more about the activities of the European Liberal Forum. So until the next episode, let's keep making the world a better place.
You were listening to the Liberal Europe podcast by the European Liberal Forum.